Good day, fans of the Bat and the Cat. I'm the Bat.
And I'm the Cat.
And today we are doing Airfryer Donuts.
Yes, and apparently this is equal to Krispy Kreme. So we've had that before. I highly doubt it that anything can be that nice. But we are going to try this recipe.
Okay, so let's get started.
Yes, okay. So we're going to need all of this that you see here. First of all, we're going to need some milk, some dry instant yeast, then some sugar, brown sugar, some salt, some eggs, then we're going to need some spray on oil and some margarine, or if you do have real butter but the unsalted one. And then last but not least, we need some all-purpose cake flour. So there we go. Now we're going to start mixing, and we're going to start with the milk and the dry yeast. We're going to warm up the milk and we're going to add the yeast. We will add the ingredients and the amounts down below. Okay, so we're doing 1 cup of milk, which is 250 milliliters. We're going to put this into the microwave and warm it slightly. Not boiling it, just warming it. Okay. So I'm going to put it on 2 minutes. There we go. Okay, so we warmed our milk. It's not boiling. You should be able to put your pinky finger in there and not burn yourself. So now you add 2.5 teaspoons of instant yeast to your warm milk. Now this is a basic kitchen. We do not have thermometers or fancy utensils, so I'm eyeballing this. Two and a half. Right. Now we're going to stir.
And a teaspoon of sugar.
Yes, but I first want to add the one and then the other one so that this one is combined. Otherwise it makes too much of the dry ingredients on the top. So now you add your 1 teaspoon of brown sugar. I like my donuts sweet, so I'll make it a heaped one. Okay, and then we stir it again until all the dry ingredients are combined into the warm milk. And then we're going to put it aside and let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes until the yeast has started to grow on the top. That's it. Okay, so while we're waiting for the yeast and the milk to combine, we're going to put in 4 tablespoons of margarine. If you have unsalted butter, you can use that as well. 3, 4, there we go. And now we're going to melt the butter in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Okay, now our butter has melted. Now we're going to add 1 egg. Okay, now we're going to mix it with the electric mixer. Combine the two. Okay, now this is what your yeast and milk mixture should look like. Right. That's fine. So now we put in 1/4 cup, so that's 125 mils of sugar in a separate bowl, and a pinch of salt. Okay, a little bit more than a pinch, as usual. And then I just want to quickly combine them. Right. Now you add your...
Eerst the yeast.
Oh yeah, of course. You see the batch reading the recipe. first you put in your yeast and milk mixture. There we go. Okay, then we're going to put our electric mixer to get it combined. Right, only lightly. So now we add our margarine and egg mixture. Okay, here we go. And we lightly beat again. Okay, now last but not least, we are adding 2 cups of all-purpose flour. That is 250 milliliters each. So that works out to 500 grams basically. Okay, I'm first going to mix this one and then we'll add another one. Let's add 1 more cup of flour, and remember to scrape your sides when you're mixing so you can combine all that flour. Right. 1 more. And let's combine this one. Got a nice smooth consistency, and we're just going to scrape the last bit off around the bowl, and then we are going to our next step. Right, now we've combined our 2 cups of flour into a smooth consistency, and now we add our final cup of flour, in other words 3 cups of all-purpose flour into your mixture. Combine on a low setting. I do not have a low setting. Okay, so this is what it's supposed to like. It's still sticky, but it's in a dough consistency. So now we just leave it in this clean bowl. I already transferred it from the other bowl to this one, and we wrap it up with some sticky plastic, and then we leave it for half an hour to double in size. Right, so we covered it with some plastic cling wrap, and we need to wait 30 minutes or however long it takes for your dough to rise at least double in consistency. Okay, and we're back. Our dough risen twice the size. So I took it out of the bowl and I put it on a lightly floured surface, as you can see. And now you just press it down. Take some flour if you're getting sticky. It will be a little bit sticky. It's not going to be perfect. So you take some dough. I can roll it in. Take some flour just to get it smooth. And you roll out your dough to approximately 1 inch, which is 1 finger, about that, yeah, about a finger thickness. Otherwise your donuts are not gonna be nice and fat.
And just a reminder, your dough, you must add flour till it is, while you are kneading it or stirring it or whatever. I'm not a chef, but I'm a fruit connoisseur. So.
Look, this is all trial and error. We haven't done donuts, or I haven't made donuts in my whole life. So this is a learning curve for me too. So in the recipe as well, it makes allowance for you for when you're mixing your dough before this now, and it stays sticky. You can add more flour. So all flour isn't the same, all doughs are not the same. It depends on how you're mixing it, your equipment, whether it's by hand or with a machine, it's not going to be the same. So you must follow your instincts and add some flour, even if the recipe doesn't call for it, until you've got the consistency you need. So now, this is approximately right. Now, I don't have cookie cutters, so I'm improvising with a mug, a coffee mug. It's nice and round, it's big, and also with a shooter glass to make the middle piece. So let's try it.
Okay. Well.
Okay, so now we're improvising. Here's number one, and you're going to need to put some flour on your cup or your cookie cutter as well, so that it doesn't stick to the dough. Okay, when we're done cutting here, when all the dough is used up, we're going to put the cookies one side, and then we're going to take the dough and re-roll it out for more donuts. Okay, so they're like this. Now you pull off your dough. Let's see. Going with. That's a thing with not having proper cookie cutters, because they're sharp edges. This is just a cup, so it's a rounded edge. So you just re-knead your dough. I'm going to put that one side. We're going to do that now, and we take our shooter glass and we're going to cut out the middle. I would suggest, if you have a smaller one, let's use a smaller one, because it's taking away a lot of the dough. There you go. And what we're going to do with the centers is we're going to make little balls and make little ball donuts. Okay, so we've put all the donuts that we cut on the parchment paper, and then we're covering it lightly with a lightly greased, so you spray on the back side some of your cooking spray, and you cover it loosely and you leave it for about 30 minutes or however long it takes your mixture of dough to rise a little bit more. So ours have been standing for approximately 30 minutes, and it's risen quite a bit, so we are going to put them in the air fryer now. Okay, so we have preheated the air fryer, and I've put in 4 donuts. Not Krispy Kreme texture, but anyway, we're going to try this, and we're going to put it now into the air fryer at 180 degrees Celsius for 4 minutes. Okay, so our donuts are in the air fryer, they're almost done. Also, just for some interest sake for you, is it depends on your air fryer size how long you're going to put them there. So 4 minutes is only an indication. I'm adding 2 minutes, so I'm putting mine in for 6 minutes. Okay, so next up is your glaze. What we need for that is 6 tablespoons of margarine, 2 cups of caster sugar, or fine powdered sugar as some people call it, and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence. First we have to take our margarine, and we're going to heat it up in a pan that's on the stove already getting hot, and then we're going to slowly put in the caster sugar and stir until all is combined and melted. Okay, so let's start with this one. So now we're melting the margarine over low heat. We've got a gas stove, so you just have to play around with whatever kind of stove you have, electric or gas. Okay, so now we're going to add the powdered sugar little bit by little bit. Keep on stirring. Okay, so our powdered sugar and our margarine has melted quite nicely. So now we add our vanilla essence, which would 2 teaspoons. We quickly combine that, and our glaze is done. So the donuts just beeped, so they are done as well. So we're going to just let this glaze cool down a little bit before we dip our first donut. Ta-da!
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to just let it cool down a little bit. It's still very hot. And take out the first donuts. Okay. Maybe a little brown. They look nice. Okay, but they are very hot. So I suggest, like I've seen people do, take a skewering stick and take them out like that and put them on the parchment paper. Again, preferably a cooling rack, but I do not have one. So I am putting them on there to cool down a little bit. There we go. And when they cool down slightly, we're going to dip them into the glaze. Okay, so we're going to dip this one. And then this side. And I need my stick. And then we're going to, like I said, we need a cooling rack, but I do not have one. So I'm just going to drip down and put it back on the paper. Put them all in. Don't do this when they've cooled down completely, because then they're not going to absorb the glazing.
And now they must cool down before they can eat them.
Yeah, you can't have them yet. You're going to burn your mouth. But what you can also do now, when you've done this, you've got a choice. You can either do an icing in the place of the glazing, but I would do the glazing first, and then I'll put some icing or maybe some melted chocolate.
There's the end product. These are our donuts, our air fryer donuts.
Okay, they're not perfect like I would like them, but they look yummy. And I made some little donut balls of all the middle center pieces that came out. So we used everything, and we glazed them as well.
And now you can add icing or sprinkles or chocolate sauce. Add it on.
Or you can leave it as it is. It's still absolutely delicious.
So there you have it, our air fryer donuts.
Yes, it looks very yummy. It took me the whole day to make these. But I hope you can copy this and let us know in the comments what you thought about this. We are definitely going to try another recipe as well. I've got one that only takes 3 ingredients, so that should go much faster.
So,
okay.
Here's the view. Now for the taste test.
Yeah. It's nice. You like it? Dinner. Okay, and for those of you that didn't see these are the center pieces of the donuts that I cut out, made little balls and threw them in the air fryer, dipped them in the glaze, and there you have some donut balls.
In a nutshell, the donut dough and the glazing, it takes a hell of a lot of time.
Yeah, it
But
does.
I mean, in the air fryer, it takes 5 minutes
To cook them. Yeah.
and it's done and it's fine and it's nice. And it's all the cooling and the waiting and all this stuff that takes time.
And for people with a little bit of patience like me, this is way too long process. So I'm definitely going to look for a way to make it much shorter.
Yeah. But my grandfather always said, the lion is the king of the jungle. Why? Because he can wait, wait, and wait.
So I'm the puma, I can't wait.
So the lion is gonna eat tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, that's it from us. We have other air fryer recipes that we do and post on our YouTube channel. But remember, please subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and click on the notification bell.
Yeah, please guys, subscribe. We really do need some more subscribers. And I'll keep on cooking.
This is the bat signing out.
And the cat. Cheers.